The one and the only, the triple, the G.O.D, live from the Team GRS Sports Desk. I'd like to welcome you guys back to another installment of Triple the Guy Speaks On. And yes, Sports Desk. Because we are talking about WrestleMania 34. We're still working on the verbiage here, but regardless, WrestleMania 34 was a pay-per-view that I watched, and now we'll talk about it. You know what? I can do this. I can get through this, okay? I can get through this, and I can get through this as quickly as I possibly can. Because we have a lot of matches, because it's a pay-per-view. Let's start at the start. There's this thing called the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, right? Matt Hardy won it because, Bray Wyatt is woke into his destiny to be his underling. So, I give it another 2 months before they're tag team champions. More on the tag team division of Monday Night Raw later. Cedric Alexander beat Mustafa Ali, and who cares? Haven't cared about this division since Enzo got the title strip because they say he raped somebody. So here's me not caring at all, in general, period. Naomi won the women's battle royal, but that wasn't until after Bayley eliminated Sasha Banks, so I guess their beef is over now. But at least in this instance, the correct superstar won the thing, so I can take some solace in that my girl Naomi is the inaugural winner of the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal that they had to rename because, I don't know, the Fabulous Moolah was a pimp or some shit. I don't know. Now that we've taken care of all that, because that's the pre-show that I actually sat through and watched because it's WrestleMania, let us get to the card at hand. Seth Rollins is your new Intercontinental Champion, and I'm like, why? And you may be sitting up here wondering, like, why am I saying why is Seth Rollins the Intercontinental Champion? You think I'd be happy about that? Here's the thing. Miz has been an amazing Intercontinental Champion. Now, I understand this. Miz got stuff to do, you know what I'm saying? Reality show and baby and all that stuff. So I kind of knew he was going to lose, but I kind of hope he was going to retain. But, booking decisions are what they are, and it makes sense. And you at least, in the instance of the Intercontinental title, would like to see that on TV every Monday night. So Seth Rollins being the champion is cool. And so with that being said, Seth and Finn, they'll feud over the title for a little bit. So, just expect that before they send Seth and Finn on their separate ways. Yeah. The streak is over. Now, because I've had all night to sleep on this, because I wanted to do this last night, but watching WrestleMania had me tired, and I really didn't have the energy to sit down. It's like I had all night to think about this, you know what I'm saying? It's like I had some time for real to sit up here and really ponder the booking decision. Now, what we're going to get into later is, I don't want to spoil that part, but what we're going to get into later is the thing that honestly makes sense given history, right? Number one, the most important thing Asuka losing does the following. The pressure is off of the booking team to book her in a way that makes her like that. So whether Asuka goes back to Raw or she is a member of the SmackDown roster, we're going to see this for a while. So this is going to be that. It would have been nice for Asuka to, win in her debut match at WrestleMania, but because you didn't come up through the WWE system, I had to sit up here and remember that's kind of what happens at this event. And trust me, we're not done with this theory craft yet, because I have evidence later in this card to prove as such. Regardless, it was probably the best match on this card because it was the only match that actually delivered an actual compelling, decent wrestling match, which is something I cannot say for the rest of this card. Spoiler alert. So, there it is. This match killed it. 199 million stars. It was a great match. A couple of hiccups here and there, but Charlotte and Asuka brought it. So it should be interesting to see later tonight what's up with Asuka, and find out on Tuesday what's up with Charlotte. As you know, we finna shake up superstars and do all that, and NXT people finna come up, so anything can happen within the next 48 hours. So just stay tuned and keep your butts in the seat. For some reason, Jinder Mahal is the United States champion, and I'm like, why? Why? Because let's just take a quick history lesson through the game and what it is. Remember last year, right? The WWE had this weird hard-on for India, which hasn't stopped yet, which now that I think about it, because of that Greatest Royal Rumble thing, somebody from India has to be a champion, and I don't know why you would have your Indian superstar walk into India with the United States title, but he got some gold around his waist because of Greatest Royal Rumble. See, more of those things you think about when you have a chance to really like recollect what happened here and giving booking decisions and blah blah blah. The match was okay. The match shouldn't have happened. The match shouldn't have included Rusev. There were just a lot of things wrong with this decision, including the whole Randy Orton was champion in the first place. But again, I don't write this stuff, so all I can do is take it for exactly for what it is and nothing more. It was an odd match at best. Jinder Mahal's your champion, and all I can do is shrug my shoulders and say, hey, okay, so what? Moving right along, I will say this. One of the other matches of the night that killed it. Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey win. You kind of knew this was a thing walking into this match, because why would they sit up here now and Triple H is going to bring out the shovel of your female version of Brock Lesnar? Because once they get a title on Ronda Rousey, I don't think they're going to have her defended like that. And I think that because of the way of her demeanor, and it's like, again, I had a little confusion because I didn't know the history between her and Roddy Piper and all that stuff, and how he gave her blessing and all that. And I came off a couple of videos ago like that. Ronda impressed me. Like, I was always impressed with her feats in UFC. I was impressed. It's like, she need a little more work. Like, she just need a little fine tuning to get into the WWE way of doing things. And I really think that they are going to get her what she needs. I really don't think you really going to see her in a lot of matches, but it's like a lot of her stuff is going to be high profile. And I really think that once they get her ready for real, that they'll put a title on her. They'll put one of the titles, because I'm like, I don't think they gonna send her over to SmackDown ever. She gonna stay on Raw, and she'll ultimately become the women's champion if and when they book it. But I don't think that's going to immediately happen. I'm like, so it just is what it is with that. It's like, it was a great little showcase match for Ronda. It was like, and that's all it really was. Because originally, if you didn't know, this match was supposed to be The Rock and Ronda Rousey to follow up on that beef from a couple of WrestleManias ago. So for this to be a showcase match for her, I'm like, everybody did what they were supposed to do. Triple H and Stephanie provided a great opposite side of the thing, and Kurt Angle did his thing, and Ronda Rousey got a chance to shot on the biggest stage of them all. And with that being a decent wrestling match, that's all you can do is ask for and appreciate. So I will take what I can get here. The Bludgeon Brothers are the tag team champions of SmackDown, and the New Day ate the pin. Yeah, these are things that happened. This also reminds me of another thing that I talked about. Seth Rollins did a curb stomp, because the only reason you could get one for the other, there's this gif on the internet where, Seth Rollins curb stomps Big E on Martin Luther King Day. I just figured, racism, I'd just insert that in there. This match shouldn't have included the New Day. I've been hearing rumor streets saying New Day breaking up. I highly doubt it. It's like the New Day can do single stuff and do they think as the New Day. I'm not sitting up here saying that they completely devoid of not being without each other, of doing anything relevant, but the New Day kill it. So it's not like ain't no reason to break them up. The New Day, however, hold on, give me a second. The New Day needed to eat the pin. The Bludgeon Brothers was going to win, and I had a feeling the New Day were going to eat the pin, because you need the Usos to be able to get on SmackDown Tuesday night and say, yo, we want the ones that got pinned so that you can get some beef, and then the Bludgeon Brothers get super kicked everywhere, and then the right of nature is restored with them boys locking them fools up in the Uso penitentiary. See, satisfaction guaranteed. Let's talk about this. The whole time before the thing we talked about happened, there's this dude. You may know him, but you can't see him. His name John Cena. John Cena had been sitting out in the crowd all night, and they just kept focusing on him, knowing that they were going to do something with him, right? So they just focusing on John Cena. John Cena, how you doing? I'm doing okay. John Cena sucks. Blah, 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 blah. And then after Charlotte beat Asuka, some referee runs around while Charlotte is celebrating, hops over the barricade, and whispers something intelligible to John Cena, which no one really understands, but I bet you if I go research it, somebody can tell me, and John Cena goes to the back. John Cena comes out like, yo, he rocking the money green, like, I'm finna wrestle. John Cena sucks, and gets in the ring. So John Cena stands in the ring for a while, then the referees come on and be like, nah, man, you ain't doing nothing today, bro, man. Go on back home to your Bella or whatever it is you finna do. Go record a reality show or some shit with your vegan brother-in-law, whatever the hell. And then the lights go out. They wheel Elias punk ass out there, and John Cena destroys him. So John Cena does this, destroys Elias. You have buried great talent. I can't stand Elias, and I can't stand him in any way whatsoever. But he just went out there, buried the dude. Just straight burial. Triple H level gold platinum shovel burial of this character. So that's okay. So John Cena wheels his way up the ramp. It's like, oh, I just buried Elias. Hooray. And then a reversal of fortune happens. The lights go out a second time. Then the Undertaker stuff that has technically been sitting in a ring for a year, but you didn't see it, gets struck by lightning. The Undertaker comes out and then buries John Cena. And this was story time with the one and the only, the triple, the G.O.D. Let's try to make sense of this. Oh wait, I can't. See, here's the problem. Here has been my problem with The Undertaker for years. The Undertaker should have retired after that second match with Triple H. That should have been The Undertaker swan song. Go home to Michelle McCool and do not come back. I love you. You are one of my favorite superstars of all time, but it should have been done right there. I came to mention this a lot, right? So Undertaker keeps wrestling, and then you lose to Brock Lesnar, and they do nothing with it, and then you continue about your business, and then you lose to Roman Reigns last year, which they also do zero with for all of 5 seconds, and they did nothing with that either. John Cena wants the WrestleMania moment, so he's the clown that gets on the internet and shit talks The Undertaker. And then The Undertaker buries him. And then I just retold the story again, but it still makes no sense. Here's the thing. Regardless of what happened, that was the only way it could have went down. The Undertaker probably had all of 5 minutes of wrestling in him. According to Wikipedia, it took him 2 minutes and 45 seconds, and John Cena got in one move of offense before he slipped when The Undertaker sat up, which was, was what it was. I don't know what to say to this. The handling of The Undertaker has been weird since WrestleMania. It's just ever since he faced Triple H that second time, you just knew, end of an era. Like, ain't none of us left. I'm running the company now. Shawn Michaels is doing Christian horse movies. I'm going home. No. And it's been downhill for this character ever since then. Love The Undertaker. Spooky when he comes out, but hey, it is what it is. Remember when he made that promise to SmackDown and nothing happened with that? I'm just putting that out there, and I'm just saying. Moving right along, you may remember this dude, right? A couple of years ago, he beat Triple H, Randy Orton, and Batista in one night. His name is Daniel Bryan. For years, he's been like, man, I gotta retire because, I gotta put a baby in my hot wife. I gotta be a vegan, and, I gotta record a reality show. A couple of weeks ago, Daniel Bryan is like, I can finally wrestle. So people have been sitting up here speculating, like, well, did you just really want to take a break and you just wanted to retire from wrestling? Was there something really wrong with your neck? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Or whatever the hell. But all this stuff. This Kevin Owens Sami Zayn thing, when I think about it, as much as it's been fun to watch, I think it's gone on way too long. And I'm glad it's over. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn need something better to do. But at least in this, you can see a magical positive, which is the following. Sami Zayn was actually in a title match. But guess what? Sami Zayn will never be in the main event ever again in his career. I'm not saying that Sami Zayn isn't a great wrestler. I'm not downplaying any of his accomplishments before he got to the WWE. Nothing. If he didn't have KO, who was placed in the main event for you to roll with, you wouldn't have been in the title match because you just booked her because KO your homie in the storyline. But I don't think that Sami Zayn is a character, and even he admitted it through the run through all this, is that he was never getting an opportunity. But you say stuff about your allies or whatever, and then people get pissed off and they don't want to book you in things because politics. Just as the Ronda Rousey match was a showcase for Ronda, this match was a showcase for Daniel Bryan to show he could still wrestle, and damn it, this man can still wrestle. The American Dragon, and I ain't talking about Jake Long. Daniel Bryan still got the goods. It's like, they did the whole he needs 5 minutes to get a hot tag thing with an ambulance or whatever, but when he got in there, he clowned. When he got in there and he clowned, and I think that's all he gonna do. I don't really think Daniel Bryan, if Daniel Bryan might be wrestling a little bit less like Kurt Angle, like wrestle once or twice a year when it gets in, but I don't think him and Shane are going to be the general manager and the commissioner of SmackDown anymore, because that wouldn't make sense either. And Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are going to go on the Raw, because you're not finna really let them just not wrestle. So they might be off TV for a minute, or the Superstar Shakeup will put them on Raw later tonight. They just probably just gonna show up. We on Raw now, Holmes, and then do stuff. This right here is what I have been waiting to say. My girl, Thicky Nia Jax is your Raw Women's Champion. I'm like, the match, while alright, had great ring thought, right? Like, the word I'm looking for is ring psychology here, right? Because you needed to really tell this story about how Alexa Bliss is this meanie who's been mean to a girl who can take care of herself and squash you if she... Never mind, I just had a thought. Let's not talk about it. But this was the culmination of what it was, right? And I'm like, while the match was alright, the intended result is amazing, because I have been waiting forever for this. As a fan of Nia Jax and her character, this is how you do it. How long she keeps that title. After this, who knows? I don't know if this is going to be an issue where Alexa Bliss lost the title and finna be on SmackDown, but I have a feeling that even though we talked about Charlotte Asuka, you still got Fabolous. You got Miss Carmella in the mix, so I got a feeling that Money in the Bank contract finna get cashed in tomorrow night on somebody's show, on someone. It's either you got Nia Jax you can cash it in on, or you got Charlotte. One of the two. So it's gonna be interesting to sit up here and watch Carmella do her thing. But congrats to my girl Nia Jax. It'll be interesting to see what kind of run, if they give her a nice little monster run until she run in an Oscar or something, or do whatever they gonna do. But it'll be interesting to see regardless of all of that information. That dream match, you know what I'm saying? That dream match you've been going on and on about between AJ Styles and Nakamura was okay until the very end of that reversal. That reversal for the Kinshasa into the Styles Clash. The rest of the match was alright. But when you get AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura in the same ring, and given I have seen them wrestle in New Japan, I'm just saying, I've seen better from the both of them. So it wasn't a disappointing match in that, but it's like, when you have two high caliber wrestlers who can wrestle, you expect a little more from that. I'm just saying. However, that's not the news that AJ Styles beat Shinsuke Nakamura, and we gonna talk about that in about 2 seconds. My boy Shinsuke lit him up afterwards. He said was like, I'm sorry, 2000, ooh, nut shot, and then demolished AJ. So I don't know what this means for Shinsuke the character, but also he betrayed his black homie. He sat up here, had Nikki Sticks on the thing, playing his intro, had a whole bunch of dudes. Then he had a black dude out there. Like they should have had the black dude, and then had the black homeboy couldn't even get to WrestleMania. I'm like, that's kind of jacked up, Shinsuke. He like that was kind of how I knew he was gonna turn heel, because your black homie who been with you through all your stuff, he can't come to WrestleMania. That's mean. I don't know what this means for the title. No idea. What they gonna do with Shinsuke? I think Shinsuke going to Raw. I think that's what it is. We gonna see Shinsuke on Raw tonight. I'm like that. It's like if it's anybody who gonna get mixed up in this stupid short shake-up, it's gonna be that boy Shinsuke. So he going on Raw because he done what he done on SmackDown. He had 2 chances to win the title before, and they didn't put the title on him. Giving this information a perfect segue. I'm glad that this is a match with AJ Styles in it. Because, see, I get to remind you of something magical about the booking of wrestling in general period. You guys remember when AJ, came out, Royal Rumble, came out, wowed the crowd, did all this stuff, had that feud with Chris Jericho, and it was over? Then we need something for people to do. So here, have an opening match on WrestleMania and then get beat by Chris Jericho after you won the rubber match in the first place, and then you remember something magical. Because AJ didn't come up through the WWE system, you can't win your first WrestleMania match. The same thing happened to my boy Austin Aries, who's like, what, a quintuple champion in TNA? If you're actually paying attention to that, no one actually does. I just look at it every now and then. But the same thing happened with my girl Asuka. Like, they fed Charlotte the streak. Not that it matters. Not that Charlotte is an accomplished wrestler. But the only reason she got fed the streak because it would have looked crazy as hell. Crazy as hell. To feed the streak to Thicky Mixed Bliss. So, in booking, that makes sense. Is that you give somebody like Charlotte who can hold the weight of taking the streak like that and ending it. Because I'm like, I don't know if they really could have did something with Thicky Miss Bliss in that streak, but I think it all worked out in the end because Nia Jax is champion, so that's okay. But this just goes to show you how stupid booking is in World Wrestling Entertainment. That because he didn't come up through your system, Shinsuke Nakamura can't be your champion and win it on the grandest stage of them all. Makes 0 sense. 0 sense. In other news today, Braun Strowman and some 10-year-old kid named Nicholas are the Raw Tag Team Champions. I remember I had the homeboys telling me, I'm like, yo, even the big man Luchador, he told me, he thought Dean Ambrose was gonna come back. Dean Ambrose don't look like this Nicholas dude. Because Nicholas is a 10-year-old kid who like, I want to be in WrestleMania, make a wish. And now you are the Raw Tag Team Champion. So I don't have no idea what the hell's going to actually happen here. But yeah. Poor Braun Strowman. They should have put the title on you. They should have had you beat Brock Lesnar. They didn't. Oh, by the way, segue into, the main event no one wanted to see, the run back between Brock and Roman, and Brock whooped his ass. It took 5 F5s, his Roman's head being busted wide the fuck open, and a whole bunch of other things that make 0 sense when booking a wrestling match, but Brock Lesnar is still the Universal Champion. And even I was surprised at that finish. Because I really thought Brock was finna go home and go fuck his wife and milk his cows. No. He's going to be your Universal Champion. I don't know what this means. I don't know what the hell. Because the Raw after Mania, it's magic. Anything can happen. There are no Money in the Bank contracts lying around. There are nothing. So if they gonna do something by getting the title off Brock Lesnar, then tomorrow's night is when you do it. Tomorrow night is when you do it. It's a shame that the boy Joe was injured. It's just a shame that, I really thought that, that if he got injured, that I thought he would have made a real run at the title, because he gave Brock a run for his money a while back. Braun Strowman probably should have been champion, because that would have been some proper course correction to get somebody who's on TV every week, because that's what the whole feud was built on. Brock shows up when he feels like part-time of this, part-time of that, and you still put Roman Reigns to lose, and it's kind of like, But then at the same time, nobody wanted to see this deep in the card anyway. For the umpteenth time, Roman Reigns has main evented WrestleMania. Hooray! So I don't know what you want me to do with this information in any way, because I have no idea what to do with this information. I don't. I'm sitting up here still after all this, still trying to process that this was a thing I watched. That you sit up here, and it's like, I try to, because wrestling is wrestling, not to have expectations, but when you watch it for so long, it's like when you get a swerve like this, because this is a swerve. This is what I believe is a legit swerve. I really thought that Brock Lesnar was going, after all of that, was going to drop the title to Roman Reigns so that Brock could go do his thing. No. Brock just want to continue to collect paydays, and I can't be mad at him, because if all I had to do was wrestle once every 4 months, then I'd do that. But I don't. He does. And he's still the Universal Champion, and I still don't know why. I still don't know why. That's a pay-per-view. Here's some good news for anybody who cares. No more split pay-per-views. Co-branded pay-per-views. I don't really get it. I don't understand why. I thought, having 2 pay-per-views in a month was great. But I guess, that if we combine pay-per-views, we save a little money. I don't know. The Raw and SmackDown after Mania. I'm just waiting to see what nutso stuff happens. Like, you already know one of the things that's going to happen is John Cena going to walk his happy ass out there and I got beat by The Undertaker in 2 minutes and 45 seconds because all Undertaker could do was wrestle a 5-minute match. So we got it a little bit over the halfway mark. And whatever else they decide to do, and we'll see if they let Nicholas stay one half of the tag team champions. We'll see what happens with superstar shakeups. And I'm probably going to do something after the Raw, SmackDown, after Mania's come on, probably do a little something on those to try to sit up here and get caught up and try to figure out what the immediate landscape for Raw and SmackDown is going to be. We go ahead and get up out of here. I am the one and the only, the triple, the G.O.D. Live on Team GRF TV, live at the Team GRF News Desk, where we will cover more news. And because actually we move from the sports to the news desk, because this isn't really sports. This isn't really sports. Like, Vince McMahon believes it is. I tried. I can't. Something Rusev on the No Limit tank. I don't know. This pay-per-view drained me, and I'm just like, I just don't know. Y'all go ahead and get up out of here, man. We got a whole Monday full of things, because there are things to do. So, scat skittles kebab from now. Go get up out of here. Live from the Team GRF newsroom, the one and the only triple, the G.O.D. And with all of that being said, I'll holler at you guys next time, man. Peace out.